Imagine this. You sit down at your dinner table, the aroma of a perfectly cooked meal filling the room. On your plate is a familiar favorite, maybe a juicy slice of processed ham, a sizzling sausage, or that tender fried chicken you've loved since childhood. It feels comforting, delicious, and for many of us, it's part of everyday life. But what if I told you that some of the most common meats we enjoy, meats you probably have in your fridge right now, could be silently raising your risk of a devastating stroke, even overnight? As a brain doctor, I've seen countless patients walk into my clinic who never thought their diet had anything to do with their brain health. They assumed stroke risk was only about high blood pressure, family history, or age. And while those factors matter, there's a hidden danger most people completely overlook: what's sitting on their plate. New scientific research is painting a disturbing picture. Certain meats, especially when prepared or processed in specific ways, have a powerful impact on the blood vessels in your brain. They thicken your blood, spike inflammation, and quietly damage your arteries. The shocking part? This damage doesn't take years to build up. In some cases, the risk can spike in just hours after a meal. That's right, one wrong dinner choice tonight could push your brain into the danger zone by tomorrow morning. Now here's the part that surprises most people: these aren't exotic or unusual foods. These are everyday meats that millions of seniors eat without a second thought, at family gatherings, at restaurants, and even in so-called healthy meals. The truth is, not all meats are created equal, and knowing which ones silently raise your stroke risk can literally save your life. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the 9 popular meats that brain health experts like myself are most concerned about. We'll break down why these meats are so dangerous, the science behind their impact on your brain, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself without giving up the joy of eating altogether. So, if you or someone you love is over 50, you cannot afford to miss this. Because when it comes to protecting your brain, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival. When we talk about stroke, most people immediately think of clogged arteries, high blood pressure, or maybe not exercising enough. And yes, those are all important factors, but very few realize how directly our food choices affect the brain's delicate blood vessels. In fact, what you eat can be just as critical as the medication you take or the lifestyle habits you follow. As a brain doctor, I've witnessed something deeply troubling. Many seniors who believed they were eating normal, or even healthy, diets ended up in my clinic with memory problems, mini-strokes, or worse. When we looked closer, a surprising pattern emerged: their meals often included certain meats that dramatically increased the likelihood of a stroke. These aren't rare or unusual items. They're the exact foods you'll find in nearly every grocery store, advertised as convenient, tasty, or even wholesome. The scary truth is that some of these meats don't just slowly harm your brain over time. They can trigger sudden changes in blood pressure, inflammation, and clotting, factors that can put you at immediate risk. That's why so many strokes seem to happen out of nowhere. They're not accidents. They're the result of silent damage happening meal by meal, bite by bite. In today's video, I want to open your eyes to the 9 most dangerous meats for brain health. I'll share the latest science, explain how these foods affect your body overnight, and, most importantly, show you what safer choices you can make to protect your brain and live longer, healthier years. So, let's dive in. Ham is a staple on many dinner tables, but what most people don't realize is that processed ham is packed with sodium, preservatives, and nitrates. These additives are designed to keep the meat looking pink and fresh, but inside the body, they wreak havoc. Sodium overload raises blood pressure within hours, forcing your heart and brain vessels to handle extra stress. For seniors, this spike is especially dangerous because aging arteries are already less flexible. Add to that the nitrates, which can damage the inner lining of blood vessels, and you have the perfect recipe for clot formation. What makes hemp particularly risky is that it often comes disguised as lean or lightly processed, which tricks people into thinking it's harmless. But the reality is, just a few slices can push your sodium intake beyond the safe daily limit. That kind of vascular stress can literally set the stage for a stroke overnight, especially if eaten at dinner. Crispy, savory bacon is another silent stroke risk. Each strip contains concentrated saturated fat and sodium, but the real danger lies in the nitrites and advanced glycation end products created during high-heat cooking. These compounds accelerate inflammation and stiffen arteries, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly to the brain. Seniors who start their morning with bacon may unknowingly be setting off a chain reaction of blood pressure surges and vascular inflammation that lasts all day. Studies show that processed red meats like bacon increase the risk of clot-related strokes by more than 20%. While one piece might feel harmless, the cumulative damage builds quickly. For older adults, the risk isn't in years down the line, it can be immediate. Even one bacon-heavy breakfast can contribute to stroke triggers that strike suddenly overnight. Sausages, whether served at breakfast or dinner, are also among the most dangerous meats for brain health. They're usually made from fatty cuts of pork or beef, heavily processed with salt, preservatives, and fillers. A single sausage link can contain more than half of your daily sodium needs. The combination of salt, fat, and chemicals like sodium nitrite constricts blood vessels, increases clotting risk, and causes sudden spikes in blood pressure. Add to this the fact that sausages are often fried or grilled at high temperatures, producing even more toxic compounds, and you can see why doctors are alarmed. Research consistently links regular sausage consumption to higher risks of stroke, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. Seniors who enjoy sausages in the evening, whether in pasta, sandwiches, or barbecues, may be unknowingly setting up their brain for a dangerous event while they sleep. Crispy fried chicken is one of the most beloved comfort foods worldwide. But for the aging brain, it's a ticking time bomb. The frying process saturates chicken with trans fats and oxidized oils, two of the worst offenders when it comes to vascular health. These fats not only raise bad cholesterol but also increase blood viscosity, meaning your blood literally becomes thicker and harder to pump. This makes clot formation much more likely, especially in already stiff or narrowed arteries. The breading also absorbs excess oil, adding hidden calories and unhealthy fats that linger in the bloodstream long after dinner is over. Studies show that people who eat fried foods regularly have a significantly higher risk of stroke and dementia. For seniors, this risk multiplies because metabolism slows down with age, making it harder to clear the toxic byproducts of fried food. That so-called treat of fried chicken at dinner can quickly turn into a stroke trigger overnight. Hot dogs are another everyday food that can secretly damage the brain. They may look innocent at a family cookout, but one hot dog can contain over 500 milligrams of sodium, along with preservatives and nitrates that inflame and weaken blood vessels. What's worse, hot dogs are often paired with white bread and sugary condiments, which create a blood sugar spike on top of the sodium overload. This combination causes rapid changes in blood pressure and circulation that the brain struggles to handle. Research shows that people who eat processed meats like hot dogs regularly face a significantly higher risk of ischemic strokes, which are caused by blocked blood flow to the brain. For seniors, that risk can come much faster than expected, sometimes within hours of a sodium-heavy meal. Deli meats, such as salami, turkey slices, or roast beef cuts, might seem like a convenient lunch choice, but they are among the sneakiest stroke risks of all. Prepackaged slices are often cured with nitrates and loaded with sodium to extend shelf life. Even those labeled low-fat or lean can contain hidden preservatives and excessive salt. Eating a typical deli sandwich can easily push sodium intake beyond safe limits, spiking blood pressure almost immediately. Seniors are especially vulnerable to this sudden vascular stress, which increases the likelihood of a clot forming in brain arteries. On top of this, Many deli meats are consumed cold, meaning they bypass cooking processes that might at least reduce bacterial risks. Instead, the chemical load goes straight into the body, quietly damaging the circulatory system. Red beef cuts, such as ribeye or T-bone steaks, carry their own set of dangers. While many people enjoy them as a symbol of strength or indulgence, the high levels of saturated fat and cholesterol can harden arteries and reduce their ability to expand and contract. This stiffness makes it easier for clots to form, particularly in smaller vessels leading to the brain. Cooking red beef at high heat, such as grilling or broiling, produces additional harmful compounds that increase inflammation throughout the body. Seniors who already have compromised circulation may find that a single heavy beef meal puts enormous stress on the heart and brain overnight. This is why studies consistently link high red meat consumption with an increased risk of both heart disease and stroke. Pepperoni and salami, often found on pizzas or charcuterie boards, are deceptively dangerous. They combine nearly every stroke risk factor in one bite: excessive salt, saturated fats, preservatives, and nitrates. Their dense, fatty texture means digestion is slower, keeping fat and sodium in circulation longer. The result is prolonged strain on the cardiovascular system. Eating pepperoni pizza for dinner, for example, means your body spends the night wrestling with high blood pressure, thickened blood, and inflamed arteries. For seniors, that overnight window is the exact time when strokes are most likely to occur. These meats may look festive and tasty, but the damage they do is anything but celebratory. Even turkey slices, often marketed as a healthier option, are not as safe as they appear. Packaged turkey often undergoes heavy processing, which means hidden sodium, preservatives, and flavor enhancers. A single sandwich can deliver nearly half of the recommended sodium intake for an entire day. High sodium levels cause water retention, swelling, and blood pressure spikes that can damage delicate vessels in the brain. For seniors with hypertension or diabetes, this added burden can be enough to trigger a stroke risk within hours. While fresh, unprocessed turkey is far safer, the deli-style slices so many people rely on for light meals are a hidden danger that too often goes unnoticed. Now that we've uncovered the 9 meats that silently raise your stroke risk, the big question is, what can you do about it? The good news is, protecting your brain doesn't mean giving up the joy of eating altogether. It's about making smarter choices and shifting toward foods that support, rather than sabotage, your circulation and brain health. First, whenever possible, choose fresh, unprocessed meats over packaged or cured options. For example, instead of deli turkey or ham, cook fresh chicken breast or turkey at home and slice it yourself. This eliminates the hidden sodium and preservatives that lurk in processed versions. Second, explore healthier proteins. Fish such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines are excellent because they're high in omega-3 fatty acids, which actively reduce inflammation and keep blood vessels flexible. Beans, lentils, and tofu are also powerful alternatives, offering protein without the vascular damage linked to red and processed meats. Third, practice heart-friendly cooking methods. Instead of frying, try baking, grilling, steaming, or air frying, which reduces unhealthy fats and lowers toxic byproducts. Pair your protein with leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and whole grains, foods rich in antioxidants that help protect delicate brain cells from damage. Finally, watch your portion sizes. Even small reductions in processed meat intake can dramatically lower stroke risk. Aim to treat these meats as rare indulgences rather than daily staples. Seniors who make even modest changes, like replacing bacon with avocado, or sausage with beans, see improvements in blood pressure, cholesterol, and overall energy within weeks. By making these simple adjustments, you're not just avoiding danger, you're actively strengthening your brain and extending your healthy years. We've just taken a deep dive into 9 of the most common meats that silently raise stroke risk, sometimes in a matter of hours. And if you're like most people, you might be feeling a mix of surprise, concern, and even a little disbelief. After all, many of these foods, ham, bacon, sausages, fried chicken, deli slices, are everyday staples. They're foods we grew up eating, meals we've shared with family, and comfort foods that feel like part of our lives. But here's the truth, just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's safe. What's familiar can sometimes be the most dangerous, because we let our guard down. Stroke is not a random event that strikes without warning. It's the result of small, daily choices that add up. The meats we discussed aren't dangerous just because of what they contain: sodium, nitrates, saturated fats. They're dangerous because of how often we eat them without realizing the cumulative damage they cause. Every slice of processed meat, every fried chicken drumstick, every hot dog at a cookout places just a little more strain on the brain's delicate blood vessels. And over time, or sometimes even overnight, that strain can reach a breaking point. But here's the empowering part: stroke risk is not set in stone. Yes, age and genetics play a role, but your daily choices have tremendous power. By becoming aware of the hidden dangers and making simple adjustments, you can slash your stroke risk dramatically. And it doesn't require giving up flavor, joy, or the pleasure of eating. In fact, many of the safer alternatives, like grilled fish, roasted vegetables, beans, lentils, or fresh lean poultry, are not only better for your brain but also incredibly satisfying when prepared the right way. Think about it this way: every meal is an opportunity. You can either feed the problem or feed the solution. You can choose foods that harden arteries, thicken your blood, and inflame your brain, or you can choose foods that nourish, protect, and heal. And for seniors, this choice is especially critical, because the brain and body are less forgiving with age. What you eat tonight truly can determine how you wake up tomorrow. So what's the call to action? First, take a moment to look at your current eating habits honestly. Do you find processed meats creeping into your daily routine? Do you reach for deli slices because they're convenient? Do you treat bacon or sausage as harmless breakfast sides? If the answer is yes, then you've identified the first step: awareness. Awareness alone is powerful, because once you see the problem, you can't unsee it. Second, commit to making at least one small change this week. Maybe it's replacing deli turkey with freshly cooked chicken breast you prepare at home. Maybe it's swapping bacon for avocado or beans at breakfast. Maybe it's choosing grilled salmon instead of fried chicken for dinner. These swaps may seem minor, but the science shows they have profound effects on reducing stroke risk, lowering blood pressure, and protecting brain cells. Third, share this knowledge. Stroke doesn't just affect one person, it affects families, friends, and entire communities. If you know someone over 50 who still eats these risky meats daily, send them this video. You might be saving their life without even realizing it. Awareness spreads, and each person who makes a change contributes to a healthier, stronger community of seniors who can enjoy life without the constant shadow of stroke risk. And finally, remember this: your brain is your most valuable asset. It holds your memories, your personality, your independence, and everything that makes you who you are. Protecting it is worth every effort. The food on your plate can either erode that gift or safeguard it. The choice, every single day, is yours. So, if you found this video valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button so more people can discover this life-saving information. Subscribe to the channel for more science-backed tips to keep your brain sharp and your body strong. And turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because the information in the weeks ahead could change your health and your future. In the comments below, let me know which of these 9 meats surprised you the most. Was it bacon, sausages, or maybe even turkey slices that you always thought were healthy? Your responses not only help us connect with you but also inspire others who read them to reflect on their own habits. This isn't just about avoiding a stroke, it's about building a healthier, longer, more fulfilling life. You've taken the first step by watching this far. Now, take the next step by putting knowledge into action. Because when it comes to your brain, prevention isn't just better than cure, it's the only way to truly protect what matters most.